happy afternoon. Happy Saturday afternoon, you guys. So we're going to get into this love after lockup and go ahead and knock love after lockup out the way. And then I guess tomorrow we'll have to get caught up on Raising Kanan, Never Ever Meets. And then I think I'm caught up. The Real Housewives of Atlanta will be tomorrow evening. I kind of already talked about how I felt on the Whether You Like It or Not panel. So I didn't do a separate live for Real Housewives of Atlanta this weekend. So once I get caught up on Raising Kanan, I think I'm good, right? We good? We caught up? Yay, we got caught up. Okay. So let's get into this Love After Lockup, last night's episode of Love After Lockup. Child, listen. Last night's episode really wasn't giving me a whole lot, if I'm being honest. So let's just get into it. So we're going to start with, I guess the biggest story was JK and Brooke. So we'll do them last. Let's start with Julius and Alexis. Listen, girl, if you like it, I love it. I really don't have nothing to say about Julius and Alexis. Now, I'm going to give Julius credit for this. And I know that y'all are going to say, give him credit. Give him credit for what? Why are we giving him credit? I agree. We really don't need to give this man credit for much of nothing, okay? But I'm going to give him credit for the fact that when she asked him, he told her. And I'm going to give him credit for the fact that he really didn't add nothing to it and take nothing away. He said, look, she was somebody I played with in jail. It was a jail thing. But I didn't do anything with her. I didn't have sex with her. I didn't sleep with her. I didn't do anything with her. Which is true. He didn't. So then she said, well, did you go and see her? He was like, yeah. She was like, so you lied to me yesterday. He was like, yeah, I lied to you yesterday. I'm going to give him credit for that. Oh, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Listen, I told y'all I was going to get caught up. And this week was just a hard week for me to try to do 2 lives. I'm going to be honest. Once I got done doing my tribe meeting, I just honestly didn't have the energy. I didn't feel like doing a second live. So that's why I couldn't get caught up this week. I'm being honest about it. So I'm getting caught up this weekend. If I had nowhere to go tonight, I would knock Raising Kanan out the way. But I like when I get off of here, I'm literally jumping in the shower and getting ready to get out of here. But yeah, I'm gonna give him credit for that. Listen, we're gonna give credit where credit is due. You know, she asked him the questions and he answered her honestly. He was like, yeah, I went to go see her. No, nothing happened. It was, I think she even said, well, were you interested or something along those lines? And he was like, I chose you. Like, yeah, she was somebody I played around with. Now, the only thing I'm not going to give him credit with is that he's trying to lessen it because he was like, I was just playing with her. It was just a jail thing. I don't think that's true, Julius. I don't think that's true. I think you had every intention of playing with this girl. And because I think you thought she looked like she looked in them pictures. Now, I'm not fat shaming you. What's the other girl name? Amber. I ain't fat shaming you because I'm fat myself. I'm not fat shaming you. But I do feel like he thought that you looked closer to them scribble pole pictures than you look in real life. And let me be clear. I'm not saying that I think you're ugly or anything like that. However, when you send somebody a picture, if I would have sent somebody a picture of how I looked 20 years ago, baby, listen, I'm still a beautiful woman, okay? But I don't look like I looked 20 years ago, okay? So it wouldn't be fair for me not to feel like he would feel some kind of way, okay? So honestly, Julius, I'm only going to give you about a 5 on that honest ability. Honest ability. I'm only going to give you a 5 on that because I honestly feel like part of you being honest really came down to the fact that you didn't desire Alexis. Amber. I think had you shown up and Amber was scribble pole Amber and all of that, I think it might have been a different conversation. But to be fair, you were honest with her about that. So then we see later on in the episode, we see where the two of them, where she is still feeling some kind of way. And now she wants him to share the location with her. Again, I got to be honest with him. He was like, I'm not doing that. he was like, why I gotta do that? She was like, because, I just, if you're not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, then why you can't share your location? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm grown, and I have no interest in doing anything I ain't supposed to be doing if I get in a relationship, but I'm not interested. I'm not sharing my location. Now, again, right now, I share my location with 3 people: my niece, my mama, and my daddy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I share my location with them more out of them sharing their location with me. I need to know where my mama and my daddy are right now, okay? Because listen, I'm raising my parents. I'm at that point in my life when, for those of you that ain't there yet, you don't get it. But baby, I'm at the point in my life where I'm raising my parents. I need to know where they are, okay? I need to know what's going on, and I need to know where they are. God forbid. All right. And my niece lives halfway across the country. She doesn't have any family out there in Detroit. She has friends, and she has coworkers, but she does not have family. So I need to know what she's doing. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I could probably count on one hand how many times I have ever checked any of their location. It is just something so in case I don't hear or in case something happens, I can find them, right? The only time I have ever checked my niece's location is when she is on her way to visit, and she drives a lot of the time. She drives from Detroit down here, and I'll check her location. I need to know where she is, okay? But with that being said, I am not interested in sharing my location with a man or having a man share his location with me. I'm just being honest. If I have to get to the point where we sharing locations because I don't trust you, now we're sharing locations out of safety, that's another conversation. But if we are sharing locations out of trust, I don't need to be with you. I just don't. If I have to look at a phone to feel secure in my relationship, that's not the right relationship. It's not the right relationship. I mean, that's all I can tell y'all. Now, with that being said, that was pretty much all we got out of them. Yeah. Julius is a boy. Okay, he's a young man. He's a boy. It looks like next week they're going to be arguing over him getting a job. And he was like, look, when you used to making fast money, you can't go back to minimum wage. That is part of the problem with a lot of ex-cons, people who get out of jail and have to live in the real world. A lot of that is that they have lived their life so much in this fast pace. And remember, Julius is a child. Like, he's been locked up since he was 19 years old, which means he was out in them streets. He don't know what it's like to get up in the morning and go to a 9-to-5. Hell, the boy probably don't even know what it's like to get up in the morning and go to school. Because I don't feel like he was going to school on a regular basis. We done already met his mama. No disrespect to his mama. But by her own admission, she said, listen, I had a drug addiction and I was out in them streets. Okay, right. Niecy and Benji need me to be on that GPS. Exactly. Thank you, Lauren. So, to be fair, and again, I don't have no, maybe I do have a little soft spot for Julius, only because y'all know I worked in the jails, and I've seen so many Juliuses, okay? But what I will say is I don't feel no kind of way about Julius from the point of view of Julius don't need to be in no relationship. Like, I get it. I get your hustle. You on the show. You making a little bit of change being on the show, whatever. But he don't need to be in nobody's relationship. He don't know what it's like to be an adult out in this world. He really doesn't. He needs to be living at home. He probably needs to be living with one of his sisters. I don't even think he needs to be living with his mama, if I'm being honest. He probably needs to be living with one of his sisters. That's where he really needs to be, is living with one of his sisters. And acclimating himself into the real world. But that's neither here nor there, child. That's not what this show is about. Let me stay here. Let me stay here. That ain't what the show is about. Okay. So that's them. So then we're going to get into, let's get into Michael and Joey. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm almost tapped out. ReallyB has to do a prison story time for I've never done one before, Lauren. I feel like I had talked to y'all, but I can. Lauren, remind me. I put it. Hold on. I put it on my to-do list. I keep a to-do list, and I have been doing really well about checking off on my to-do list. I've been doing really good about keeping up with stuff on my to-do list, y'all. I've been doing really well. That's a tool that I have gotten over the last, Well, it's a tool I've had for a while, but I haven't been using it well. I haven't been doing it for a while, but I have been. So let me add this prison story time. Thank you, Lauren. I'm going to put it on here and we'll do that. We'll do that. So hold on, y'all. Look, while we're doing that, let me check this stuff off of my okay, I did that. Boss Babe is over. I can check that off. Oh, I haven't done that yet. I need to follow up on that. Okay, I did that, but I need to follow up on that. Okay, I did that. Okay, I haven't done none of that. Okay, I did that. I did that. I did that. See, there's a lot of stuff that's on my to-do list. I hadn't checked it on it in a while, but I'm gonna add that. Thank you, boo. Okay, so yeah, I'm done with Joey too. I'm kind of over it. Joey, listen, Joey, you know. Baby, you know. Baby, you knew. You knew. Michael and Joey, they go to pick up Joey's car. So they go past his mama's house to get his car. And the man done already took your phone, so you can't call him while he out there in them streets. He already got missing time. Now, production was with him for some of that time, but he already has missing time. So you know what it is. And at the end of the day, you relapsed fooling with him the last time, and you said your family was very upset, and you were was disappointed. Your father has been sober for 30-something years. Your brother been sober for 20-something years, and this man caused you to lose your sobriety. Now, when I say he caused you, I do believe that you grown and you walked into that door and you made that decision to give up your sobriety. However, when I say he caused you, I mean that relationship. Let me do it that way. That relationship caused you to lose your sobriety. So he leaves to go. What did he go do? Child, he went to go do something. And left you at the damn hotel. He went to go get his car. Oh, y'all went back to the what's that thing called? The halfway house. Now he said, I believe it was Joey, because I get them mixed up, child. I believe it was Joey that said, Joey was like, listen, if I wanted to spend more time with Michael, I could. Like I could put on here, like I could stay out a little bit longer, but I just don't want to. And it's really making me second guess everything. Now, to be fair to Joey, he understands. He sees it. He says, listen, this is making me rethink all of it. And it's actually making me a little scary. I mean, a little afraid, because I'm rethinking all of this. I'm rethinking this whole relationship. Baby, he knows it's not going to work. He know he not staying out of jail. He know he not staying off drugs. And he know he ain't going to do right by Michael, right? Michael, sir, I need you to go back to therapy. And you need to ask yourself, I need you to look back on these episodes. It looks like you were on Love During Lockup. I need you to go back to and look at all them episodes, Love During Lockup, Love After Lockup. And I need you to go back to therapy. And I need you to really break down why it is that you were putting all your eggs in this basket. In this basket, sir, I don't know what you do in your day-to-day life. I don't know what kind of job you have, but it does look like you have a very supportive family who has been there for you throughout your sobriety, throughout your drug addiction. Like, it looks like they have been there for you. You seem like a really nice guy that has a lot to offer the right person. And I need you to go sit down on somebody's couch, and I need you to work through it, okay? And I know that's something that can be said about all of us at some point in time. When I say all of us, I don't mean every single person in the world, but I think more times than not, we have been in relationships that did not serve us. Most of us in our lifetime, if we're being honest, have been in a relationship that did not serve us. Now, some cost us more than others. Some cost us jail, sobriety, our freedom. Some even cost us our life. Some might have just cost you a little bit of money. You might have put a bill in somebody's name, or you might have put some money on their books, right? The cost is different. The cost is different, but the relationship did not serve us. And honestly, if I'm being very, very honest with you right now, I feel some kind of way, Michael. I really want to see you succeed, Michael. But this ain't it. Let me see. Is this the one I want? Hold on. Is that the one I want? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm playing with the layout. What's the layout I want? That's the layout I want. Okay. Because I went, well, no, not so much. Neither here nor there, child. I'm playing around with the thing. I write things down in my notebook. It helps to physically see what needs to be. Yeah, and it's, one thing I'm learning, and this is going on the sidebar. This is my personal struggle as an adult with ADHD. These are some of the tools that help us to finish a task, to physically see a task. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it makes me feel good to check a task off. Right? Like just now, I just marked off about 4 things because I really hadn't looked at my to-do list in about a week or so. It really made me feel good to be able to say, oh, wow, I did a lot of this that I said I was going to do. It makes me feel good. So I've been doing really well with that. I've always been good with to-do lists at work. I've really been good with doing them at work, but at home, I'm doing better at. I used to keep lists, but I didn't call it a to-do list. It was just like a list of things I wanted to, but now to actually call it a to-do list has been very, very helpful, if I'm being honest. Anyway, moving right along. So yeah, y'all. So Joey ended up leaving and staying the night at the halfway house. He left Michael at that hotel by himself, which already tells me that y'all had planned to spend a couple of days at that hotel because he was at that hotel by himself and he didn't know where you went. You were supposed to come back the next day because y'all was gonna go meet his family. So not only did you leave him at that damn hotel overnight, and you went out, you claimed you was going back to the halfway house, which we all knew that's not where you were going. Child, Michael knew, I knew it, the producers knew it, everybody knew that is not where Joey ass was going. The next day, he was supposed to call you in the morning. It's like checkout time, and your ass is sitting there waiting. It's like checkout time, and you sitting there waiting for this man to show up. He finally shows up, and he come running all in the house. Running all in the hotel. It's checkout time because you in the lobby. That's how I know it's already after checkout time because you wasn't even in the room no more. And he gonna say, yeah, he gonna say, how did your urine analysis go? He was like, oh yeah, I failed it. So as a result of him failing his urine analysis, he got kicked out of the halfway house. Now, I have a couple of things to say, and I know I'm about to go down a road. I'm about to go left for a second. First of all, I'm taking Joey out of this equation. I'm just going to look at this from a perspective of, I don't think they should get kicked out after one time. Now, granted, it's only been 48 hours, so that might be a little bit different, but we're clearly dealing with people who have been let out of jail with little to no supervision, who have a drug problem. I honestly feel like he should have transitioned into an inpatient. With his level of drug history, I really think he should have been in an inpatient situation. But neither here nor there. He was in a halfway house. What up, Tracy Boo? He was in a halfway house. He failed it, and he claimed he getting kicked out of the halfway house. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means he got to go back to jail or what. Like, I'm not sure what that means. Because we didn't see anything more until next week. So that's where we are until next week with them. But my thing is, I just feel like with his level, I ain't getting nothing to drink. Lord. With his level of hold on, y'all. Let me go give you something to drink. Sorry about that. Try to give me some water. I need to go out in the car because I still got that case of water I bought from Costco yesterday in the car. Actually, I bought 2 cases there in the trunk because I could only bring but so much in yesterday, child. I made 3 trips. But I do have some sparkling water, so I'm gonna drink my little sparkling water. Some halfway houses and shelters give you a few chances as long as you're doing other things right. You have a good attitude. Yeah, and he ain't been there but 24 hours, and he definitely doesn't have a good attitude. So, I mean, I guess and he has a history. Remember, he had been there before. He had been kicked out before. So his leash might have been short to begin with. So that's why I said Joey is not the example I'm using, because I think Joey got some other elements that might have played into that. But now it's making me wonder, does that violate him now? Like, was that a condition of his release and now he going back to jail? But neither here nor there. So that was Michael and Joey. Let's get into Courtney and Will. I told y'all the other day that I think Will is weird. I think he's a creep. It's something about him just makes me uncomfortable. And I'm not accusing that man of doing anything. Let's be clear. I'm not accusing him of doing nothing. But something about that man makes me uncomfortable. It just makes me icky. So they're getting married. Listen, here's where production be playing with me. And I'm sorry, when it comes to Love After Lockup, I have to talk about production because it is such a produced show. But what I found funny was they took Courtney, I guess they're going to get married or whatever. So they took Courtney to this dress shop. Even Courtney had to say, why couldn't they take me to a regular dress shop? Because they took Courtney to some old hole in the wall, looked like we getting ready for the club boutique. It didn't even look like a high-end or really nice boutique. You are taking this woman to go buy potentially her wedding dress. Why y'all couldn't find... I mean, I get it that y'all in like a little small town. Like, I can tell this isn't like a major city. They ain't had no mall. They ain't had no Macy's. I mean, I know they out on the West Coast. What do y'all department stores on the West Coast? They didn't have a Macy's, a Belk, a Dillard, a Nordstrom. They didn't have a hell, they ain't got a Davis Bridal. I mean, I know Davis Bridal them gone out of business, but they didn't have nothing. Y'all couldn't find nowhere else for this girl to go to get her a halfway decent dress to get married in. And she told y'all. Like, she said she didn't feel comfortable. She said she didn't like any of these dresses. Y'all couldn't have took her nowhere else. So she bought a dress, and her mama is not feeling it. Because her mama said, listen, Courtney has hurt me so much over the years. There were times when I didn't even know what Courtney was. I didn't know she was alive or she was dead. She said, I just want her to be safe. I feel like the mama ain't feeling him either. I feel like the mama feel like something ain't right with him. I feel mama's intuition done kicked in, okay? Mama's intuition done kicked in. So we see them. I ain't going to prolong this because all we saw was her shopping with her mama. Her mother said the last time they went dress shopping was for her homecoming child. We see them getting dressed, and he done made all the arrangements for them to get married. He done invited her sponsor and all this stuff. And the last thing we see is them standing at the altar and her saying, I don't know if I want to do this. Am I making a mistake? I don't know. I feel like she went through with it. I don't know. It's a show. Child, it's a show. So that's what we have with them. Now let's get to these. Let's get to Brian and Brooklyn next. So Brooklyn is having the cookout, the welcome home cookout for Brian. His aunt came through. I didn't see any of his parents, but his aunt did come through. Her friends were there. And she was like, he got to meet my brother and he has to meet my dad. And I'm really nervous because, for real, neither one of them are really feeling him, because, I mean, I don't think most parents probably wouldn't be feeling their child. Right. I know she got married. Right. Most parents wouldn't be feeling their child marrying a person that spent the last 6 years in jail. Again, you're in your 20s and you have spent 6 years of your life in jail. Sir, that's a problem. So first we had this conversation with her and the brother. That was, baby, when I tell you that was a hard conversation to watch because it was dry as fuck. It was clear that production gave the brother the questions to ask. And I already told y'all that I think Brian rode the short bus to school. I'm sorry. I know that's not a nice thing to say. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just telling you what I feel. And what I feel is that Brian rode the short bus to school. Now that's how I feel. So the brother was like, so, I mean, what's your intention with my sister? And then Brian was like, I mean, you know, we're going to be cool and stuff. And then the brother was like, I mean, so you going to do right? You going to do right? And then Brian was like, yeah. So then the daddies show up, and the daddies show up in the 2000 version of the Pimp Mobile. Back in the day, it was a Cadillac. You know, back in the day, it was the Cadillac, right? But then the daddy showed up in the 2000 version of the Pimp Mobile, baby. He pulled up in a Chrysler 300. That's the 2000 version of a Pimp Mobile, okay? I knew then daddy was a player, okay? Daddy came up out that Pimp Mobile. Baby, daddy came up out that Pimp Mobile. And let me tell you what I love about her daddy. I love her daddy. I can't recreate it, Lauren. I don't even remember what I said the first time. I can't even recreate it. But, I mean, the brother was like, so, you gonna do right by my sister? And Brian was like, yeah. That's all I got. So daddy coming in. Daddy poured himself a glass of champagne. Okay. And Brooklyn was like, Brian's here and I want you to talk to him. I want you to meet him. Baby, I love her daddy. Daddy said, I'm going to fix my plate and I'm going downstairs. And if you want to talk to me, he can come down there. Matter of fact, he didn't even say that. Nope, I gave him too much. Daddy said, I'm going to fix my plate and I'm going downstairs. And Brooklyn was like, but daddy, don't do that. Don't do that, daddy. He was like, what? I just told you I'm going to fix me a plate and I'm going downstairs. In other words, if he want to talk to me, he'll bring his ass downstairs because I'm not going to him. Okay? I am not seeking him out. I am not looking for him. I am not going to him. If he wants to have a conversation with me, he will come downstairs because that's where I will be. I was here for it. I was here for it. Do you hear me? So daddy was sitting there with his plate and here come Brian. Brian. Brooklyn. See, this how I know that y'all ain't raising y'all kids right. Listen, first of all, why is that boy walking around the house looking like he just rolled out of bed? He got on a t-shirt that looked like it's damn near too small and it ain't even ironed. It don't even look like an outdoor t-shirt. You know, you have indoor t-shirts and you have outdoor t-shirts, right? This is a t-shirt that I don't wear outside anymore. I honestly can tell y'all, I can be honest and tell you, I have had this t-shirt for damn near 20 years. And it don't even have a hole in it. Well, it got a little bit of a hole right there, a little hole. But the reason why I know is because this is when I went on my Mediterranean cruise. This was the t-shirt for my Mediterranean cruise. And the reason why I can remember how long ago it was is because my best friend was on that cruise with us and she was pregnant with her oldest child. Baby, he graduated from high school last year. That is how I can remember how old this shirt is. I don't wear this shirt past the mailbox, okay? That is an indoor shirt. And then I have my outdoor t-shirts, okay? He was wearing an indoor shirt because it was wrinkled and it was too small. And then he got them sweatpants on that looked like he used to wear them sweatpants on the yard when he was down to the prison. That is how you dress to meet somebody's daddy. And Brooklyn, I know that you said you was buying all that other shit for him. Why you couldn't buy that boy a pair of jean shorts and an outdoor t-shirt? Yeah, his after school play clothes. Absolutely, Lord, yes. His after school play clothes. Why you couldn't go down? You could have went to the TJ Maxx and got that baby a polo t-shirt and some jean shorts. But neither here nor there. So that's how the boy is sitting on the couch. So he come downstairs and he sit down next to the daddy. And baby, when I say Pimp gave him some game, Pimp gave him some game. You know what Pimp said to him? Pimp told him, he said, so what you get locked up for? He said, aggravated, what did he say? Aggravated theft or something. Here he go. Oh, so you a thief. I said, I was cracking up. He said, oh, so you a thief. He said, how long was you locked up? He said, 6 years. Daddy was like, damn. And then Daddy proceeded to lecture him. Daddy proceeded to let him know you don't know shit because you have been locked up for 6. He said, you know how fast the world can change in 6 years? He said, do you understand how much has happened in the last 6 years? Like, you don't understand. He said, I personally don't feel like y'all need to be trying to do all of this that y'all doing. But you, because he said, and he said, here you go. And honestly, I really can't make up my mind about anything. I really can't make up my mind about anything until really, he said, because right now, he said, you still locked up. He said, you got an ankle monitor. You on house arrest, right? You can't go past the mailbox. He was like, yes, yeah. He said, exactly. He said, so honestly, you still locked up. He said, so I really can't trust nothing that you doing or saying until you got some freedom. He said, once that monitor come off, then I'll see what you do. He said, until then, I mean, she grown, you grown, ain't nothing I can do. But basically, he let him know, I don't trust you until you have the opportunity to fuck up. He was like, right now, you ain't even got the opportunity to fuck up because you here, you stuck here. You really don't have no option. And if you screw it up, you're going back to jail. So when you get some freedom and you're not tied and you're not here because you have to be here, then I'll see if you're here because you want to be here. I said, I know that's right, Daddy. I was here for it. Daddy gave him some real shit. He said, you still locked up. You can't go past the mail. When he told him he couldn't go past the mailbox, baby. He said, you can't go past the mailbox. Baby, that thing cracked me up. He said, you can't go past the mailbox. So that was them. Let me get into the Mickey Mo and Kiana, because whatever that boy name is. So we still at the damn cookout. And he's trying to talk to her. And he's basically trying to be like, girl, what is wrong with you? Why you tripping? Why you acting funny? What's going on? And she was like, listen, just give me a minute. Now, I told y'all the last time, when somebody says give them a minute, just let them have a minute. If she has the consciousness of mind and the consciousness of thought to know that right now I need to excuse myself from this situation, because I know that what I'm probably getting ready to do or say ain't going to be a good look. Now, to be clear, I feel like we got an edited version of what she really did do, because people kept saying that she acted a fool and she caused a scene. So I feel like we didn't get all of what she did, which I don't know why they would cut it out if she acted a bigger fool than what we saw. But neither here nor there. I feel like maybe more was done or said. But I understand her point. She was like, look, I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at him. Because I feel like, you know, he was hugging all over her and stuff, and I didn't appreciate that. Now, do I think she's being petty for being upset with him for hugging the mother of his child? Yes. However, to be fair, there is a history there. And I think he is purposely... See, there's layers to this situation with Kilolo and Delulu. There's layers to this shit. Because first of all, there's a history of all of them playing in each other's faces. Because now we know that Kiana ain't as innocent as she pretends to be. Allegedly, according to her baby daddy, she was cheating on him with Delulu. So it sounds like it's a whole toxic circle that they have been living in for years, because Dulu got other kids. This ain't even his only baby mama. This is probably the only baby mama that wanted to be on the show or agreed to film on the show. But the man got 6 kids. He got 3 by her. So that means there's at least one other baby mama. Now I think it's 2 more baby mamas, but neither here nor there. Kiana has 2 kids by another person, and he's got 6 kids. For as much as in love as they claim that they are or were, neither one of them got no kids with each other. Okay? Now, there are layers to this toxicity. Okay? There are layers to this toxicity. So I understand why Kiana feels the way she feels. And I feel like Dulu is purposefully ignoring the level of pain and toxicity that has happened with them. 2 others for, okay, so it's 2 other baby mamas. Thank you, little baby. So he got 3 baby mamas and 6 kids, and she has 2 kids and a baby daddy. And according to the baby daddy, she was cheating on him with Dulu, and we know that Dulu was cheating on all them motherfuckers. Let's just call a thing a thing. How he was cheating on all their asses. Now, he's not being sensitive to all of that history, because if he were being sensitive to all of that history, he wouldn't have hugged her. He wouldn't have done anything that's special. And he would have done everything in her power to make her feel comfortable in that space. Because at the end of the day, they do have to figure out how to coexist. But as far as them sitting, he said later on in the episode, he talked about something. I mean, we should be at a point where we can sit down and all have dinner together. The fuck? And Kiana was like, I ain't there yet. Like maybe one day, but we ain't there yet. We are not at that space. We're just not in that space. Now, with that being said, they go home that night, and she mad, he mad. He ain't mad, but she mad. So I guess they didn't actually have sex, baby. She got in the bed in them clothes she had been wearing all day long. I ain't see her go in the bathroom and wash her ass, brush her teeth, or nothing. And I'm sure that was for production. I am going to say that was for production. Okay, y'all might not agree with it. Agree with me that was for production, but I'm gonna say for the purposes of a production, she climbed her dirty ass in that bed that she had been out in them streets sweating and drinking at that damn cookout all damn day long. And she didn't even go in the bathroom and brush her damn teeth. But he didn't either. He climbed in that bed just like she climbed in that bed. But for the purposes of production, I'm going to say that's what they told him to do. Just get in the bed so we can end this scene. That's all I'm going to say. Now, then we see 2 hours later, which I don't really think it was 2 hours later, because production, why the fuck were y'all still at them people's house 2 hours later? If they really did go in the house, see, this is why I got to call out production sometimes. If they really did go in the house and y'all made them film like they was going to bed and turned off the lights, why were you still at that man's house 2 hours later? So I do not believe this was 2 hours later, and I do not believe that Kiana was in the house asleep. I believe that he went out on that porch and called his baby mama so they could film that scene. That is what I believe. Now, he claimed he was calling the baby mama because he wants to see his other child that she didn't bring to the cookout. And I think that she purposely didn't bring that baby to the cookout so he would have a reason to reach out to her. Listen, damn, Auntie's advice, and that's my boo thing. Me and her disagreed on this one. We disagreed on this one. But I'm going to tell you, I believe that she purposely didn't bring that baby because that's the one child that he doesn't have a relationship with. And to me, that would have been the perfect time. But the family says she hasn't brought the baby around them. Now, y'all said the last time that y'all think maybe he ain't the daddy. Now, maybe he ain't the daddy. Because why would you not bring all 3 kids? That don't even make no damn sense. If the baby was sick, that's one thing. But that, other than that, that didn't even make no damn sense. So he calls her and then he goes on after he calls her, and of course she's like, okay, yeah, we'll have to figure that out. Okay. So then we find out that she was like, he said, basically, he was like, I got to play nice with her so I can see my kids, which sounds to me like she does use those kids as a pawn in her relationship with Dulu. That is what it sounds like to me when he said, I have to play nice with her so I can see my kids. See, that I've said this to y'all before, and don't none of y'all like it when I say, well, not none of y'all. You know, I don't mean none of y'all. I mean some of y'all. Some of y'all don't like it when I say this, but I'm going to say it again. This is why you go to the court, you get a legal document so that they can't play these games with you. But see, so many of y'all either don't want to pay child support, or I don't want the courts I don't want the government in my business between me and my family. I don't want the government in my business. Okay, fine. Then you're going to keep having to play this game with this woman. Now, do I think that some people can co-parent without bringing the courts in it, without having to put each other on child support and all of that? Sure. I know that there are situations where that exists, but clearly this ain't one of them. This is clearly not one of them. But see, part of the problem is you don't want the court to tell you what you have to do. See, you want to be able to see your child and have a relationship with your child, but you don't want to do the other shit that you need to do. So there it is, moving right along. Well, you're right. The government is already in their business. That's true. You're right about that, little baby. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Not the baby was with the real baby daddy watching Coco Melon and Bluey. Yeah, y'all funny. Right. So, with that being said, that's where we are with them. I did not mean for this to take this long, child. We almost here for an hour. Baby, I wanted to be walking out the door by 5 o'clock. I'll probably be walking out the door by 5:30 now. But it's okay. We good. We good, y'all. We good. And I have an announcement to make. Little baby Tracy. Y'all don't let me get out of here because I do want to make this announcement before I leave. All right. Last but not least, child, we got Brooke and JK. Brooke is crazy as a bedbug. Brooke mama knows she crazy as a bedbug. JK mama know she crazy as a bedbug. And JK know that she's crazy as a bedbug. The problem is all of them act like they scared of her. So we still at the damn cookout. Brooke got mad, but then she can't. She left. She called her mama talking about something. How far are y'all with the boys? And the mama was like, we're a few minutes away. And Brooke was like, I don't think it's a good idea that y'all come because me and JK, and she goes to explain to mother why she mad at JK. Now, here's what I find interesting, Miss Brooke. You were getting ready to let this man get violated on his first day out of jail and have to go back to jail because you didn't want him to disappoint your children. You said you made a promise to my children, and I don't want my children to be disappointed. Yet and still, the very next day, when your children were literally 5-10 minutes away from JK's house, you called your mama and told her to turn around because you mad at JK. And if it wasn't for your mama saying, I ain't doing that, her mama was like, we 5 minutes away. You need to go back and play nice. You need to go back and make nice so the boys have a good time because we on our way. I'm not turning around. I said, that's how I know her mama knows she crazy as fuck. And I just found it so interesting that you were so worried about JK last week. I mean, yesterday, disappointing your sons, and now you about to do the exact same thing you was accusing him of doing. So the mama come back, the kids come running in there, and once again, I have to question, y'all, I have to, listen, I'm going to just say it. Y'all might get mad at me, but I'm going to just have to say it. Once again, I am questioning y'all's parenting. Because why did them little boys come running in there to JK, and JK had a vape in his hand, and one of them little boys said, are you allowed to do that? Come to find out, Brooke had been driving them boys up to the jail to visit JK. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Why are you driving those kids to the jail to visit a man that they don't even know that is not their daddy? And then one of the little boys gonna say to him, "Are you glad you out of prison?" Why do they know these kids? I don't understand it, y'all. It would be one thing if that was their father and he had a relationship with those kids and he went to jail. I still don't think I would take my children to the prison to visit my blah, blah, blah. But they are older. Like the one child I think is 10 or something, but or 12, something like that. Ain't no way in the world. And the fact that not only do they know you are in jail, but to have the presence of mind to see you smoking something, I'm going to put that in air quotes. And the first thing out your head, are you allowed to do that? So anyway, they have the little cookout situation, and Brooke is now worried about JK cheating on her. So she says to him, "What if I moved in here?" With who? You and your two kids? First of all, y'all already sleeping on that hospital bed that belonged to that lady. She giving up her room and sleeping on the couch so that y'all can even get together and sleep together that first night. You mean to tell me what you thought you was gonna put that lady out her room and sleep on that hospital bed every night? What the fuck? Hey, Talia. Hey, boo. I was just like, the fact that she even said it out her mouth don't even make no sense. Ma'am, you have two whole kids that your mama has been watching. And then we found out later on she lived an hour away. So not only were you willing to do that, you live an hour away, ma'am. You live an hour away. So the next day, she does spend the night again, though. So the next day, she's getting ready to go home. Baby mama was like, thank God. She was like, look, I mean, I just feel like she been here since he got out of jail. She been up his ass since he got out of jail. I mean, he just needs some time. He just needs some time. I appreciate it. He just needs some time. So then, they drive and he takes her on a date. He asked his mama for some money. Mama said, for what? For drugs? He was like, no, I want to take her on a date. And I thought that was sweet of JK. I thought that was sweet that he wanted to take her on a date before they went back home. I thought that was really nice. So they went to the little putt-putt. And then he going to say, I just want you to know I'm going to always be a part of your son's life. Even if things don't work out with us, I always want to be a part of your child's life. And she going to sit there and start crying, talking about, that's all I really wanted. I mean, it's not fair to my kids that they don't have a father. I chose badly. No, maybe your crazy ran them away. Maybe you're crazy. Brand them away. And again, I want to hear from her baby daddies because I bet they got a story to tell. And then she said, so you did all that crying, like what he said was so touching, and you had never had a man do that before. And then you're going to turn around and say, I've had other boyfriends tell me that. Then why are you crying like it? Why are you sitting here crying like that's the first time you've heard it? If you've had other men saying and they just didn't do it, they lied. They didn't do what they said they was going to do. Why you think he going to do anything differently? So they get to her mama house. Well, now, excuse me, for those of you who watched the very first episode, and I ain't got the energy to go back, that does not look like the same house. Y'all remember the first episode where allegedly JK's friend, the white girl, the fat white girl, and I'm fat, so I'm calling her fat. I can call her fat. She fat. The fat white girl was gonna move in because remember she was living with, she was gonna be Brooke's roommate, and Brooke was asking her questions about who JK was talking to, and it supposedly was his best friend. We ain't seen her since. She wasn't at the cookout. We haven't seen him talking to her. Where did she go? And I promise y'all, that does not look like the same house, because the house that we went to, that Brooke house, it looked like a trailer park in the middle of nowhere. The other house, it looked like a house like in a neighborhood with other houses. It does not look like the same house. Now, I could be wrong. And like I said, I don't have the energy to go back to the first episode. But where is that girl? Why wasn't she at the cookout? Why we ain't heard from her since the first episode? And I promise y'all, that don't look like the same house. Because at first I was like, well, maybe that's just her mother's house where the boys have been staying. But he giving her a tour. I mean, but she's giving him a tour like it's the house. I be so confused with these people. So he goes to talk to her mama, and basically, let me put a pin in that. Let me rewind. Let me also rewind back to Brian talking to Brooklyn's daddy, and he get to cussing. Y'all, when do we get to the part where it's okay for us to cuss around people's parents? You just met this man for the first time. Y'all don't have no kind of a relationship, and he just a cussing. And a couple of times, Brooklyn daddy was like, "Excuse me," like I feel like he was saying, "Excuse me," like did you just cuss? And Brian ain't pick up on it because I told y'all. Short bus. So he didn't understand what he was trying to say to him. He didn't understand he was trying to tell him, sir, I don't really want you to use that kind of language around me. And but let me get back to Brian to JK. JK, I feel like was a lot more respectful to Brooke's mama than Brooke was to his mama. He was very respectful, and I can respect that. But basically, he told, but I can't. But here's what I can't respect, JK. You sat there, had a whole conversation with her mama, and her mama explained that Brooke is very insecure, that she's been done wrong by men in the past, which is why she's very insecure. She was like, she's going to take it out on you, even though it's not fair that she takes it out on you, but she's going to take it out on you. Because she's, been in these relationships and she's insecure in these relationships, right? And you were like, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Nuh-uh, not I spent 30 seconds looking for look, I've done that before. I have been looking for my phone like this. Where is my phone? Where did I put I literally have been looking for my phone with my phone in my hand. Okay. I've done that with the remote too, so I get it, boo. So then he literally pulls off and immediately calls the girl that Brooke is insecure about, literally calls the girl. So the opposite, I'm going to say the opposite about JK that I said about Julius. You sat there and acknowledged that this girl is insecure because she's had men cheat on her. She's had men do her dirty. And literally 5 minutes after you done pulled out from that woman's house, you done called the ex-girlfriend that she's insecure about, that she feels some kind of way about, called that woman and set up some time to go see her. See, that's what I can't respect. Now, when I say I gave Julius credit, please understand, don't mistake me giving him credit for me liking him or thinking that, he's going to do right by Alexis, because that's not going to happen. But please understand that I am side-eyeing the entire fuck out of you now, JK. Anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Now, I do have an announcement to make. Tomorrow night, when we do our Real Housewives of Atlanta review, and I'm doing it tomorrow night, doing my Real Housewives of Atlanta review, because that's usually my biggest crowd. That's usually the biggest crowd that I have for my reviews. We will be starting our membership. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm hesitant about starting my membership on this channel only because I have so many people that are subscribed to both channels, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of anybody or I'm making people double dip, right? So please understand, that's why it took me, I've been eligible for membership since whenever the monetization on this channel started. I think this channel's been monetized since June of last year, maybe. So it's been almost a year. It's been almost a year that I've been eligible for membership on this channel, and I just never cut it on because, again, I had so many members that are on both channels. So I think now I've built up enough of an audience on this channel, especially when it comes to my Housewives reviews, that yeah, and I probably will do it at the lowest, whatever the lowest tier is probably what I'll do the membership at anyway. Back, yeah. But she said the lowest cost is $2. You're not taking advantage. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. So it probably will be at the lowest tier. So it'll probably be at like $2. Well, I think the lowest tier is 99 cents. It probably will be at like $2. So let me not say the lowest tier before somebody be like, you can make it lower than that. So I haven't set it up yet. I'll probably set it up tonight when I get home if I'm not too tired. I should have got a hotel room, to be honest, because where I'm going to a banquet, and the banquet is about an hour from my house. And it's at a hotel. And I should have, but I knew I was going, but I didn't buy a ticket until last week. So, but I should have got a hotel room. Because I know they have they had group rates and stuff like that. I'm not going to do it now because I'm not going to spend that kind of money now. But had I got a hotel room, I would have already left. I've been down there. I'd have took my clothes. I'd have chilled in the room, took a shower and everything there. But it is what it is. So anyway, I said I had to say when I get home tonight or tomorrow before my Real Housewives of Atlanta live. So here's what you're going to get for the membership. We talked about this last week. I'm going to do the retro reviews on my membership. We're going to do the throwback reviews. Of course, we'll do live chats and stuff like that. And you guys will get first looks at stuff. I'm going to, with the retro reviews, with the retro reviews, I will eventually open them up for everybody, but they'll start off at members only. So you'll get the members only. And it was something else we said. We said the retro reviews, and y'all told me something else. Damn it. I thought I wrote it down, but I know it's going to be the retro reviews. And of course, like I said, the talks, and it was something else we said. It'll be like 3 different things. But I'm going to be launching that tomorrow. That'll be launching tomorrow, the beginning of May. And there's that. I think it was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember now. Oh, we're going to be doing, so here's what I want to start with. I don't know if you guys heard, Erica Alexander and, I always want to say Kim Whitley, and it's not Kim Whitley, Kim Coles. Kim Coles and Erica Alexander are going to be starting a podcast. If you guys don't know, Erica Alexander is who plays Max on Living Single, and of course, Kim Coles plays Sinclair. They are doing a podcast that's called, it's basically a retro review. They're going to do Living Single. They're going to go from the first episode to the last episode, and they're going to kind of do some behind the scenes and that kind of stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to subscribe to their podcast, and as they're reviewing the episodes, I'm going to come down here. We're going to kind of talk about what they said was going on and get a little bit of the behind the scenes. I was doing a different world on the other channel. I have not done any different worlds over here, but I'm going to start a different world again. I'll probably just start at the beginning of season 3 because I left off in the middle of season 3, but I'll probably just go back and start at the beginning of season 3 and do the episodes. And then, of course, we're going to get back into Falcon Crest. I'm going to do the same thing with Falcon Crest. I think I'm in season 3 or 4 of Falcon Crest, but I'm at the very end. I think I'm like on I'm towards the end of the season. So I think I'm just going to start here with season 4. And we already sort of did a catch up of what Falcon Crest is and the characters and the storylines and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to start with season 4. That way we could just start at the beginning of the season. But we'll start season 4 of Falcon Crest and season 3 with a different world. And I'm going to do the retro podcast with Kim Fields. I keep saying Kim Fields, Kim Coles and Erica Alexander. So that's what I want to do on the members only over here. I wanted, the other reason why I waited is because I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to offer you guys something. Y'all know how I feel about that. Listen, I'm very sensitive about people feeling like I'm taking advantage, right? I understand that YouTube pays me to provide content. Don't get me wrong. I'm always here for a tip. I'm always here for a super chat, a cash app. I ain't gonna tell y'all no lie. However, I don't ever want people to feel like I'm just down here asking, and I'm not living up to my end of this, because I feel like we all work hard for our money. So I didn't want people to feel like, hey, she just being greedy. She got members on both channels and da-da-da-da. I will try to make sure I'm offering y'all something. So I will have that set up tomorrow before I go live for the Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. Let me get ready to jump in this shower and get out of here. I wanted to be walking out the door at 5 o'clock. That is not gonna happen, but I probably will be walking out the door by 5:30. The cocktail hour starts at 6. As long as I'm there by 7, I'm good. But I wanted to get there for the cocktail hour, so if I can get out of the door by 5:30, I should get there with at least 20-30 minutes of the cocktail hour left. Depending on traffic and all that good stuff. So with that being said, that you guys, I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening, and I will see you for the Never Ever Meets panel in the morning. Well, no, at 1. We'll do Never Ever Meets at 1. I'll do Raising Canaan at some point tomorrow, and then of course we'll do the Real Housewives of Atlanta at 9:30 ish. Talk to y'all later. Peace.